Hello students, Ms. Slyman here, and like I said, I'm making some videos to help us with inverse trig derivatives. So let's think about y equals tan x. So if I wanted to find the inverse, well, that goes back to our pre-calc days, and I'm just going to switch the x and the y. So the inverse is going to be that x is equal to tan y. This, of course, is equivalent to saying that the inverse of tan x is tan inverse of x, right? So I could do the tan inverse on the other side, but I don't know the inverse of tan. That's what I'm trying to, I don't know the derivative of tan inverse. That's what we want to figure out. But I do know the derivative of tan of y. This goes back to what we've been doing with our implicit differentiation. So derivative of x with respect to x is 1. Derivative of tan y, well, derivative of the inside is dy dx. And then derivative of tan, well, I remember my and I know that derivative of tan is secant squared. So I'll have secant squared y. Isolating the dy dx, this leads me to say that dy dx is 1 over secant squared y. Well, now I want to think about, so our whole goal is that we're trying to figure out if we had the function y equals tan inverse of x, then we're trying to figure out what the dy dx is in terms of x. So let's look at this triangle here. If I have this triangle, so this triangle shows tan y equals x. It shows this original function. And I know that from an angle, the tangent is opposite over adjacent, so I can see that tan y is equal to x over 1. If I think about secant y, well, oh yeah, 1 over secant y, of course, this is the same as cosine squared y. Well, the cosine of y is going to be 1 over whatever this is, and I can figure this out by using Pythagorean theorem. I know the length of this side is going to be square root of 1 squared plus x squared. So cosine of y is going to be 1 over square root of 1 plus x squared. So the third side, root 1 plus cosine, root 1 plus x squared, cosine of y is going to be 1 over root 1 plus x squared. So that tells me that secant of y is 1 over this, but of course 1 over that is just going to cause it to flip over and be 1 plus x squared. Also, I know secant of y is hypotenuse over adjacent rather than adjacent over hypotenuse. So now I know my secant y. I know that it's root 1 plus x, or same thing, I know cosine of y is 1 over root 1 plus x. So coming back to that dy dx, I can say that it's going to be the same thing as 1 over root 1 plus x squared, because I have secant squared or cosine squared, which then just turns into 1 over 1 plus x squared. So that means that in the end, if I have y equals tan inverse of x, then the derivative of tan inverse of x is 1 over 1 plus x squared. We're going to repeat this process to find the derivative of sine inverse and cos inverse in the next videos.